Hi, I'm Anthony Griggs, former linebacker for the Cleveland Browns and the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFL. You're listening to Chuck Bushbeck Live, Heart of a Champion.
And hello, everyone, and welcome to Chuck Bushbeck Live. And we are honored and privileged to bring you Heart of a Champion show from those individuals who achieve excellence and clearly make a difference in our lives. I'm your host, Chuck Bushbeck, with our producer, Joe Lee. We have another great show lined up for you today. Our guest is two-time Olympic gold medalist winner for the United States, Francena McCorory. Did I do that right, Francena?
Yes.
I did okay with it?
Yes.
Fantastic. How are you today?
I am great. How are you guys?
How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh my God, it was great. I ate so much.
Did you
Now
really?
that I'm tired, yes, I can indulge. So
Because you're not running track anymore.
no, so I can.
So you're the type of individual that has achieved something really something special, winning 2 gold medals. And can you show us your gold medals there around your, and what years are they from?
This is from 2012. Well,
Right.
hold on. This is from 2012, and this one is from 2016.
And refresh my memory, where were both of those events held?
2012 was in London, and 2016 was Rio de Janeiro.
Okay, and were you the I don't know what they call it in track. Were you like the last leg for the 400 relay team, the anchor, whatever you want to call it?
Second to last. I was third leg.
Oh, okay.
To last, yeah. Third leg.
Third leg, okay. So I wasn't a track star. I wasn't that fast. But I had a good nose for the ball and sports and stuff like that. But I do know the training that goes into being a professional athlete or a United States Olympic champion in reference to what you've accomplished in your life. What I'd like to do, if you would help us here, we like our audience to understand who our guests are, what they had to manage throughout their life, their training regimen, how they grew up. So can you take us back in maybe when you were growing up? Was there a time in your life that you found what you love to do? And I'm sure you had a lot of interests and things like that. But take us back and tell us what were maybe some of the events that happened to you that made you who you are today.
Okay, so I grew up originally, I was born in Los Angeles, California, and we ended up relocating, me and my 7 other siblings, to Virginia because my mom was in an abusive relationship.
7?
Yes, it's 7 of us.
And you are being which one in that totem pole?
I am right in the middle.
Are you really the middle child?
Yes.
I see the Charlie's Angels thing going on.
Yes, I hate it too. I hate being the middle child.
Why is that? Why did you hate that?
I think middle child syndrome is kind of real.
It's real.
There's 3 above me and 3 under me, so I'm kind of just floating.
Yeah, so it's like no wonder you went and won 2 Olympic gold medals. Just anything to get some attention, right?
Yes, to keep me out the house.
So you're growing up in Los Angeles, and you have 7 siblings. And what was your childhood like growing up there?
It was okay. It was a little rough. My dad was a little abusive to my mom, so that's what caused us to relocate to Virginia. She kind of just packed all of us up in the middle of the night on a train, and we fled here. And it's been much better since then. I think that was the best decision for us, for sure.
Did you feel that affected you in any way? Maybe in the beginning or even later in life? I don't know.
Not in the beginning, but I did notice how it affected all of my siblings in a different way.
Okay.
I was actually kind of happy that we left, and some of my other siblings were kind of sad and upset because they wanted to stay with my dad.
Sure, absolutely.
But it's just different. Like, when you're grown, you can kind of see like, hey, that was a great decision. Why would y'all be upset? Yeah. But, it just shows you that like how you can live in the same household with people.
Yeah.
And everybody has different perspectives. So, But no, it didn't affect me when I was younger. I definitely think it helped me in the sports aspect
Yeah.
because I was able to, if I was feeling any negative emotions, I was able to take them out on the track. So I think that that definitely helped.
Well, no, you left Los Angeles and you went where?
To Virginia.
To Virginia, and all your siblings went with.
Yep, we're all here. We're all a
Oh,
gang.
you're still there now?
Yes,
Are you
yes,
really? And like
yes.
no one went out of state or anything. You're all in Virginia.
My one brother lives in Fayetteville, but he's always
Okay.
here too, so he might as well live here.
Oh, wow. And while you were growing up, was there a significant relative that you could rely on? Because obviously you had there was some trauma growing up, and you just spoke about that very eloquently. Was there someone else that you could lean on, or was it your siblings or your mom that you could talk to all the time?
So when we got here, thankfully, my mom is from Charleston, South Carolina. So a lot of her family members moved up here too with
Yeah.
us at the same time.
Yeah.
So everybody just kind of came to Virginia to get a fresh start.
Yeah.
So we were all in the same house. I think it was like a 3-bedroom house. It was kind of like it was quite a bit of us in there though. But that wasn't for a long period of time. But it was nice living with all of my cousins, and we kind of just grew up together and made the best of it. And then everyone eventually got their own spaces and moved out. So I had my aunts and my mom's cousins and things like that. So they were great influences on me.
So when you were growing up, I mean, you obviously had interest, but what made you say, "Hey, I'm pretty fast"? I mean, how did that all come about? And say, "I want to, I want to run track."
So it's funny. I really didn't want to run track.
Oh, really?
So when I got to 6th grade,
Yeah.
my godmother, which I met her now. So when I got to 6th grade, that's like what, preteen almost. So I kind of thought I was like all that. And I just wanted to kind of hang with the wrong crowd and like kind of test the waters a little bit. So my gym teacher, they would always make me, when it was time for physical education, they would make sure I would run the mile, like just so I wouldn't get in trouble, so I wouldn't be interacting with other kids.
Yeah.
They'll say, "Hey, you have a mile time trial." And I used to be like, that's only like once every semester. Why y'all making me do this every week? But so eventually they realized like, hey, she's pretty fast. Like we should like introduce her to track. So at the time I'm like, I don't want to run track. Like that's not really cool, So eventually they talked me into it, and I ran junior varsity at Bethel High School here in Hampton, Virginia.
Yeah.
And when I got to high school, I went to Bethel High School, and that's when I joined the varsity team, and I've been stuck ever since. But I did give them some apprehension at first. I was like, I don't want to run track. Like, that's not like the cool thing to do.
What were your other interests that you were like kind of thinking about and like, hey, I want to do that. And then track came along. What were those other things that were maybe going through your head?
Really nothing productive. Like the crowd I was hanging with at the time, like they were kind of into some crazy wild things fighting and things like that, and like just hopping on the bus and going to other people's bus stop and like beating people up, that sort of thing. So yeah, it wasn't really good. So I'm thankful for my gym teachers and my godmom at that time, because I feel like that was like a very pivotal time for me. I could have either went this way or that way. So I'm very thankful that they kind of stayed on me and they saw something in me before I can see it in myself, for sure.
So you actually used track as a way of becoming who you are. I mean, it wasn't a matter of you getting this and that from your aunt, your mother, your whatever. You kind of got, I'm not saying fell into it, but you had a talent that was just there. I'm sure when you ran for your gym instructor, you weren't training for track. You were just fast.
Yes, that's it. Like that.
And you said, hey, this is pretty cool. I like being pretty good at what I do. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah. That mixed in, I don't want to grow up and go to jail, so let me do this.
Oh, so you did have the other side. You were actually thinking about the other people that were around you, your peers, whatever, were going in a direction. Somehow, deep inside of you, though, you had a feeling of what you didn't want to do, though. You had a sense of right and wrong about your career.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so track comes along, and you're going through high school. What was your track experience like in high school? What year was it, first of all, that you started? Was it freshman year right from the beginning?
Yes, freshman year, right from the beginning.
And when was your special moment in high school where someone said, this girl can run. She can go a lot further than, what we think she can do.
So freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, I won states in every event that I ran, which is like unheard of. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so ever since a freshman, I just came in knocking the door down. But my senior year, we had a meet at what's the sportsplex out in Maryland? Oh my God, I should know it.
The indoor facility?
Yes, the indoor facility.
Yeah, actually, I know that, and I don't know if our executive producer knows. You know that place, right? That we had a bunch of boys playing soccer there. Actually, it's a huge facility. I can't remember the name of it either. But go ahead. Anyway,
it's like right here, but
that's okay. Go ahead.
But I broke the national high school record in the 400-meter dash, and that same year, I ran faster than they ran at NCAA's.
In high school?
Huh?
You beat the NCAA time in high school?
Yes.
Get out.
Yes. So that was my senior year. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty good now.
Texas, Villanova, whatever. You didn't choose that, or you went in another direction, and what was the reason you did?
Yes. So my godmother, the one that I just spoke about that originally got me into track, she went to Hampton University on a full track scholarship as well. And she's one of my biggest role models. So I was like, I'm going to Hampton University. I don't care. And I got a lot of backlash because of that, because Hampton University is a small HBCU. And when you're as talented and as good in track as I am, you kind of don't go to, well, back then you didn't go to like smaller universities. You went to like schools like Texas and LSU and things like that. But I wanted to go to Hampton because my mom went to Hampton, and it was right down the street too. Oh. And I'm family oriented, of course. I was so scared to go away to college. I'm a big baby, so I was like, nope, I'm going down the street.
Oh my God. And what was the backlash you were getting? You said you had some backlash.
Yes, some coaches just felt like I should have went to a bigger university.
Yeah.
But I don't regret my decision at all. I had such a good time at Hampton, and I met some of my best friends there, and we're still best friends to this day. So
all right. So you're is it Hampton College, Hampton University?
Hampton
University. And they're obviously really happy to have you. Did you run against these other schools that went to recruit you?
Yes. All 4 years at NCAA's, and I won NCAA's. I think I won indoor and outdoor my junior year. I could be lying. No, I won indoor my junior year. I got third outdoor my junior year, and senior year I won indoor and outdoor.
Now, were you a little concerned running against these schools that were recruiting you, and you said, "No, I'm going to Hampton"?
No, it actually gave me more motivation when I got NCAA's because you don't see too many small HBCUs running against the bigger schools.
Right.
So every year it was kind of like, they were like, oh, what school are you from again? And I'm like, I whooped y'all last year. So
that was your mindset. So this is what we try to get to, is what creates you. So you actually use this as fuel to get to where you wanted to be.
Yes, absolutely. And with Hampton being a small, tight-knit community, I kind of felt like I was there representing my school, which I was, of course, physically with the uniform and things like that. But, it felt like it was a family, I felt like, okay, I'm going to go put my school on the map and make everybody proud. So That was very important to me, and it was total motivation. It made things way easier.
So you used that. That's interesting. When you were at college, at what point did someone say, "Hey, have you considered running in the Olympics?"
So that's funny. I am the first one in my family to graduate from college. So I was really my main and first goal was to just get a college education.
Yeah.
That was motivation, my number one motivation. But my senior year at Hampton, I broke the 19-year-old at the time American record in the indoor 400. And that's when I started looking into running professional track and field. I didn't want to at first, but when I found out how much they get paid, I changed my mind.
That was a motivating factor for you?
Yes.
It's interesting how we had another guest on the other day, and it was kind of like and very nonchalant. I really didn't want to do that, and they have all this incredible talent, and no, I didn't really want to do that. I mean, it's funny to hear this again. From someone like yourself, but you said you used your analytical mind, I guess, to say, hey, this is pretty good revenue I can make from this.
Yes. Yes.
So,
yeah.
So you graduated from college, and you went all 4 years, and then you went right to the Olympic team. Is that how it occurred for you?
Yes, and I'm skipping a part. So my senior year, after I broke that indoor record, the high school record, I was being recruited to go straight into professional track right then.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I was kind of ahead of my years. I felt like I was too young. I was only 17, and I was just thinking for my future. I'm like, I need a college education. At the time, I didn't know. I just knew a college education sounded good.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking beyond my talent. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to run track for forever. So I need to go ahead and go to college. And a lot of people thought that was crazy. Like, they're like, you can sign a deal with Nike right now. Why are you trying to go to college? But I've always been, which ties into my motivation with my talent as well. I've always been very, not bullheaded, but once I make my mind up, it's made up. I don't care who tries to come and convince me. So a lot of people were like, no, I think you can go back to college later. You should run professional track now. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. So I kind of left a lot of money on the table my senior year, but I got it back later.
We find that a lot with the high level athletes is they have tunnel vision and nothing on the side is going to distract them from where they're going. So you join the Olympic team. Did you at that point say, hey, these people are pretty fast? I mean, this is a lot different than college even. These are the best in the world.
Yes. So there were several aspects that shocked me in 2010 when I transitioned from collegiate track and field to professional track and field, because now, in college, it's kind of like a job, but it's like a fun job. Of course, you have to perform so you can keep your scholarship and things like that. But it's fun, like you really don't have to eat right. Like in college, I ate Chanello's
You got
pizza.
the chips out, yeah.
Yes,
I got you.
But, going into the professional realm, it's really a job. Like, it's really cutthroat. Like, if you don't perform, you don't get paid. So, that was a shocker for me. I had to start, eating right and going to sleep on time. And it was definitely a learning curve for sure. Go ahead.
Did you think that all of a sudden someone's managing your life now? Well, you're independent at this point and you make your decisions. Do you feel like other people were having a bigger say? Did you run into that with the, just with the guidelines, the, go to bed at a certain time, eat certain meals? Did you feel like that you've lost a little bit of yourself in the professional end of things?
No, the only thing that I didn't like that I felt like was a total violation was the drug testing process. Like, we kind of had to submit whereabouts, so they have to know where you are 24/7. And I don't know if drug testing is the same all around the board for other professional athletes, but of course they have to come in the bathroom with us and like watch you pull down your pants and watch you pee. So that's the only thing I didn't like, but everything else was okay.
Yeah, they have their different protocols, and I'm guessing you were the same thing. I'm familiar with Major League Baseball and football where if they want you to come in for a test, you got to be available. Whether you go to another country, you got to make yourself available somehow, some way. I guess it's the same thing for you.
Yes, so that was the only thing that was kind of like very different and restricting. But as far as my process didn't really change that much because my college coach, Maurice Pierce, was my professional coach as well. So I still continue to train at Hampton University under the same coaching and things like that. So that wasn't a hard transition, but definitely putting myself on a schedule and the drug testing.
Now, was your college coach already affiliated with the Olympics, or did you having to go to Hampton kind of segued that experience for him as well?
No, he was already affiliated with the Olympics. James Carter, he had coached him in 2004.
Oh.
Kelly Wells, she's also from Virginia.
Yeah.
He had coached her. So yeah, he had already had some Olympic experience with him. And he's also my goddad because
really?
Yes. He married my godmom.
So it was really family that created this environment that you wanted to finish out. You wanted to first of all go to Hampton instead of some of the major universities, but it was a family thing for you that you wanted to stay connected. Does that sound?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was your guiding. Okay, so you're in the Olympics, and your first gold medal that you come up with is in 2012. Talk to us about that.
Oh my God, such a wonderful experience. This is still my baby to this day.
Is it?
I love this medal so much. Yes. I was really young. I was so nervous. Oh my goodness. Like when you walk into the Olympic Stadium and see the Olympic flame, it's like, oh shit, this isn't a
That is an experience. Yes.
Yes. But, of course I had so many great examples before me. Sonia Richards-Ross was on this team with me as well. Allison Felix, they kind of just took me right on in, So they were such good mentors. Like, they could kind of see like, oh, she's a newbie, she's nervous. So
yeah,
they made us feel really, really comfortable because by that time, I think that was maybe their third Olympics or second. Maybe third, because I think they went to 2014.
So I want to talk about that a little bit, what we would call osmosis. But so you have a really tough challenge ahead of you running in the Olympic Games. Did you feel that you being in that place allowed you to feel a bit more special than maybe you did before the event? Once people started saying, "Hey, come on, let's hang out together. And you found mentors. Did that kind of say, "Hey, everything's going to work out here. It's all good"? Did you feel that energy coming from that?
Yes, absolutely. We know with the relays at the Olympics, we have to stick close and tight and together. There has to be chemistry. So definitely, we all felt like, even though it's a relay and everybody has individual legs, everybody felt like we were running for each other.
Right.
So, just being on the relay at my first time, I think I was like 22 or 23, having that great leadership, that great experience. They are amazing. Like they are the athletes that we were looking up to before we got there. So to have them, we prayed before every race, they let us know like, hey, we're here to have fun. Don't be nervous. Just having their words of wisdom definitely relaxes you on its own. Like you said, hey, we got this. Like we're a team.
Did you have a strong religious background, or is this something the team did it on its own, praying?
Yes. I'm a Christian, and everybody there were as well. So.
Yeah. So it all kind of worked out for you.
Yes.
So fast forward us to 2016, your second gold medal, and you're running the third leg again of the relay team.
Yes.
And let's take us there for that second gold medal, and let's talk about the difference between the first Olympics and the second Olympics for you.
The second gold medal is a little bittersweet because I didn't run on the final round. I just ran on the preliminary round, which is just as important because if we don't make it through the preliminary round, there will be no final round.
Right.
But it was just a different experience all the way around. in 2012, I ran both rounds. So in 2016, it was just different. It felt weird not being out there on the last round, but.
Yeah. When you competed, and whether it be at a lower end or at the Olympic end, did you see any difference between the men and women that were involved in the Olympics or what have you? Is there a different agenda, or is it pretty much you just kind of did your thing as a woman?
Like all across the sports, or just in track and field?
Well, I guess you could do all, in particular track and field, your experiences, in other words. We've had individuals that I've spoken with, and we had Val Whiting on the show. She was in the WNBA, and she had talked about her brothers, and she would go up to the schoolyard and play with the boys, and it just made her that much better. So I guess I'm kind of seeing how that intertwined with your career, and were you treated differently, or was this something that you just, hey, it is what it is?
Yes, no, she's, that's definitely a factor and an element to add in. I forgot that too. So in high school, I would train with the boys all the time.
Really? Okay.
They will push me, and that definitely gives more, it makes it fun, but it's more competitive too. Like, who wouldn't want to smoke a boy in a sport, right?
And you did.
So it just gives you so much confidence. Like, oh yeah, I know I'm the shit. Like,
Did they make you better? Did the boys make you better?
Yes, absolutely. At the time at my high school, the time I was trying to get to, which was 51 seconds, I had to run with the boys because the boys were at about 49 or 48 seconds. Yeah. So they would kind of push you to get to lower your time, basically. So, and it was just, like I said, it was just fun spanking it, it's just bragging rights.
No, I get it. So you have this career, and congratulations. I think you just recently retired, and you're doing your thing now, and some other things we can talk about at the end of the show. Was there anything, or what was the most difficult thing that you had to go through in the world of competition?
I would say the most difficult thing, and I'm sure every athlete goes through this, is sometimes it's the criticism that you get when you don't perform to everyone's expectations. Even now, like when I see, like when I'm watching football at somebody's house and I see like people like yelling at the TV, like talking crap, I'm like, oh my God, like y'all can never do this.
You have no idea, right?
You know, like, so I would say that's the hardest thing, just learning to kind of like bounce back from that.
Yeah.
And, blow it off and just realize like, hey, we're not perfect. We're not going to win every race. We're not going to, perform stellar every single time, even though we want to, because nobody goes out and tries to lose on purpose. Yeah. But I would say that's the hardest thing to work through, for sure.
Was there a moment where you?
Okay. Just was there like a specific like kind of person, group of people, or specific person in general where like maybe that criticism like felt harder? Would it be like was it like from a coach, or was it like from the fans where like it really like would hurt more, I guess? Like,
no, it's always random people that you don't know. It's always the randoms, like,
yeah, of course.
But even though you don't know them, it's still, if you look online after you ran a bad race, it still stings. Like, damn, I really tried, but they don't care.
Well, and there's been a lot of talk, like, and for instance, on Instagram, we've heard things that young women are having a hard time, and there's a lot of bullies out there. Did you run into that, as Joe was just talking about it, with these people that were just random people? Was there someone that you had to really, you had a difficult time, and you really had to, do a check-in on yourself? Like, is this for me? What is there a time in your career that you had to go through that?
I remember one incident that I had on social media, but I think it's worse now for athletes because when I graduated and turned pro, it was 2010. Social media wasn't as booming as it's booming now. Like, even like, I think within the last few years, I think people use social media to just talk crap. At first it was fun, but now that's what they do. So we didn't get it as much, in 2012 and in 2016. It was out there. I can remember like one or two instances, but now these days it seems like it's just rampant. So
do you mentor kids in reference? I mean, I'm going back to when I played, okay, and I'm just going back. So we didn't have cell phones. We really didn't have social media. We didn't even have 911 if you needed something. You had to really call the ambulance to come get you or whatever. So we didn't have any of those pressures. At least I didn't feel any pressure. Yes. Do you mentor kids now in dealing with those pressures, and what advice do you give them?
So definitely, I'm really close connected with the Hampton University track team. And I just let them know to just try to have a good time, especially in college, you have all of your life to jump into a professional career and feel pressure, right? So when you're doing any sports, even on a college level, high school level, some people start their kids out with track or any sport as low as 4 or 5 years old.
Right.
That's a bit much, but, I just tell them to have a good time, Some children don't have it as good because they're getting pressure from the parents.
Yeah.
My parents didn't really pressure me to do anything. They were just kind of like, hey, if you want to do it, great. If not, whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that helped me more, because I felt like I was making my own decision versus somebody telling me hey, you're fast, you have to run, you have to do this, you have to do that. So I think that adds an extra layer of pressure on the kids on top of social media. So I just let them know to have a good time. You're not going to win every race and you're here to have fun. You're not getting paid. So
right.
If you lose the race, it's okay,
At least not till you get the Olympic team as you
yes,
did.
Yes, then you got to run.
He said, hey, there's dollars here. Now that's practicality. I really like that.
Yes.
So where are you going now? I mean, you retired. You're back in Virginia. What are your plans after what incredible career, 2 gold medals?
Thank you so much. So I just bought another investment property. So now I'm into real estate now. It's so much fun. Yes. I'm a natural host. I love hosting. I'm not a party girl, but borderline. But,
we always like to have a little bit of fun. That's
yes,
fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes, but I love hosting. I love Airbnb. I put my first house up just off of a whim, as soon as I left the Olympic trials, because I did try out earlier this year and it didn't work out. So I was like, okay, I want to do something next. So I just threw my house on there and I reached superhost status in a couple months. So it was fully booked out. So that was a lot of fun, just interacting with different people from different places and making sure they're comfortable and things like that. So I'm doing that. And I also have my own timing company. We time track meets all around the Hampton Roads area and we're expanding. So that's a lot of fun as well.
And a timing company is something it's a software program or just a company that goes to different meets and measures track times?
Yep. That's exactly what we do. It's nice and simple. We're looking to add apps and things like that later on. But and then I bring my gold medals in there too sometimes.
Absolutely, no question about it.
Because I think it's important for kids to see someone in person, hey, she's from here, she's from this area, she went this far, so I can go this far too with hard work and dedication.
Well, I was going to ask you, the last question I had for you is your advice to anyone pursuing anything, whether it be track and field, football, girls soccer, whatever. Based on your experience and where you're at now in your life, what would be your advice to people that want to pursue their dreams?
I would say, y'all give me 1 second, please. 5 minutes. I would say, definitely, give me 5 minutes. Sorry. I would say definitely do what you love. Definitely do what you love. If you don't like it, you're just basically wasting your time. And sometimes you might have to do something that you don't love to get a better end result.
Okay,
so
I get
you might have to do something difficult temporarily to get a better outcome in the end. For example, I ran professional track for 10 years. I did miss out on a lot of like cookouts and fun times and things like that. But now I'm able to retire and I don't have to work ever again. So that sacrifice for 10 years, even though it wasn't so fun, it definitely panned out. So sometimes you have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable later on.
Well, it sounded like you followed your heart, but you were very pragmatic about everything that you have experienced. And you kind of, you have a very nice balance. And listen, I'm so thankful and grateful that you came on our show, and congratulations for everything you've accomplished in your career. It's quite amazing what you've done and the advice you have for the young kids out there. So I want to thank you again, Francena, for coming on, okay?
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. This has been so much fun.
Thank you, and that's going to do it for today. And I would like to thank our guest, Francena McCorory, I think I got that right, for coming on the show. For our producer, Joe Lee, our executive producers, Jim Sims and CJ DeRoma, I'm Chuck Bushbeck. Thank you all for watching Chuck Bushbeck Live, Heart of a Champion. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page and consider supporting us on Patreon at the link in the description. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time on Chuck Bushbeck Live. Thank you, Francena.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Hang on there for a minute.